Hello, everybody. We are going to wait a couple of minutes more until everybody is joining. Now I see that we are 15 or 20 people, and we are going to wait around 5 minutes. Meanwhile, if you can text, I tried to enable the chat because during this webinar you can ask questions, you can also answer. I will also going to send at some point a form if you want to write some topics you want to talk about today or in the future webinars. Yes, thank you. I see that the chat is working. Also, Tiberiu joined. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. I see we are like 19 people. Maybe we can wait 2 or 3 minutes and then we can start. I also created a form in which you can answer us what type of applications you want to see being built today. And in a case we don't have enough time in this webinar, we can also do this the next session. I will send the link for it in the chat. So feel free to answer. Either about an app you want to see being built or anything else that you want to cover in the next session.
I guess we can start. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Tiberiu, TB. In today's webinar, we'll go over how to build custom apps, custom interfaces powered by automation and powered by AI with Make. Okay, first of all, I'm Tiberiu Socaci. I'm a strategic advisor and the founder of Makeitfuture. I'm working a lot in transforming Makeitfuture into an AI native companies and also working with a lot of our customers integrating AI into their processes and workflows. For the ones that don't know, Makeitfuture is one of the top AI and automation agencies in Europe. We started in 2021. We are AI Agency of the Year in last year. A prize we got from Make. We are also a platinum partner, and we've been working many customers in Europe in the last 5 years. Okay, so to go a bit in more details of what we're gonna discuss today. Few years back, if you were doing an automation, you were digitizing a process, you would need to use generally some platforms, some other interfaces, right? So if you were looking at, okay, how can I do like a booking calendar link, you were looking for something like cal.com or Calendly or some other platform that allows you to do calendar bookings. If you need like a multi-step form, you were looking at Typeform or Tally or some other form that would allow you to create an interface for that. And many examples like that. This change a lot now with AI. And why I'm saying that is because AI can allow you very easily to generate an interface, and together with Make, you can connect that interface to your data to different platforms. Okay, why that's really important, or why we believe this is a great solution is you have more than 2,000 connections in Make, so you can connect to any of your existing data that you already have in a company. You have the full control over the workflow, so you can see every step that happens in that automation, and you can define it very well what information should go to that web page, and you're in control. You also have the history logs, governance of everything that's connected to the application. You don't need an additional server. If this is just a small application, there's no need to have another server deployed and maintain and update and so on. Make has its internal AI agent, also has the different connectors to OpenAI, to Claude, to Gemini, to so on. So you can use any of the agents. And it's very, as you're going to see today, is very fast to build something like this. So we build the interface in Make, like as multi-step form, social content generator, calendar booking, and many more. The way it works, the user goes to a link. That link is actually a webhook. The webhook triggers a scenario in Make. So practically it loads the data that will go to the webhook, and it responds to the webhook with this data. Okay, think about this as every time you go to a web page, if you go to makeitfuture.com, in our case, Cloudflare being the server is returning you a page, right? It's a GET request. That's the same way a webhook works. You go to a webhook, you do a request, you're getting back the data. In this case, you're just returning back to the scenario an HTML uh, and JavaScript web page that's able to communicate with some other scenarios in Make to do some actions. And I'll show you live some of these examples. So you can see here an example on how the data loads from Make. So we have a Make webhook. We have some Airtable modules that gather some availability from a table, also gathers in the second one. I forgot to rename this, but this one takes the booked slot from that platform and returns that data as a page to Make. And all this together create a page that will allow a user to book a call. Once that user makes the different actions, the data is sent to another webhook inside Make, where another scenario is searching for the doctor that was created the appointment, normalizing the phone number, searching for the patients or creating it, schedule the appointment, and create an opportunity. So the process that needs to be completed by the web application also lives inside as a scenario, so you have full traceability on how that works. And I'll show you live how that works. In the meantime, Alexandra, do we have any example that was sent to the form from anyone?
Not yet.
Okay. Let me know in the back. Maybe we start it with Claude, so we don't wait for it. Okay, so I'll show you 4 examples that we've done in the last few months for different customers. Maybe this will spark some ideas for you. One of the examples I showed that in a previous call, we have here for Makeitfuture, we have a multi-step lead form. What that really means is if somebody comes when somebody wants to book a call with us, because we want to route that call to different persons in the sales team, we enrich and understand who is trying to book a call with us, and then expose the link towards the call booking from the user that's more fitted to do that call, right? So if I go for an example here, if I put here, let's say emerson.com, this page here did a call directly towards Apollo to enrich the company. So there's a scenario that opens that does that call. Then it return. I'm putting now my name. I'll put my email address. And this then will find the person that needs to do the call with. Okay, so in this case, it's returning the calendar of me because this is a US customer and so on. But you can have whichever logic you want for having these calls, right? So it's just a simple interface that is generated by a make scenario. Another example, we build this for a marketing agency. You can see here, there's a content idea, right? They wanted to have a way to generate content for the different content ideas that they had, and their marketing people to have a fast way to generate those with AI. So practically, when I select one of these ideas in this interface, here I have another scenario that's powering an AI agent. So if I say, hey, generate this content for me, and I can tell whatever instructions I have to generate this story here, this AI agent can have their own skills, their own instructions, and so on. And this is just powering a scenario that's doing that. Okay, so I've drafted. So now I see here success story, the content, the hashtags. I can save it as a draft and send it back to I don't remember, Google Sheet or Airtable. In this case, I can show you the scenario in a bit, or just generate the post, right? And I'm really generating this interface whichever way I want for the use case that I have. Okay, so to show you a bit how this looks like, if I have load a scenario, you can see here that's loading the scenario. It was loaded a few seconds ago. If we look at the result, you can see here it's just an HTML result going towards the user. Where the heck is body? So that's all the HTML, CSS. We don't need to really understand that too much. We generate that with, let's say, with Claude. And then I have a processing scenario that has an AI agent. And this AI agent is configured to speak back to that workflow. And you can see that as well here. Another example that we built recently for one of our customers is a booking service. So they wanted to have a special booking page. The booking page normally that they use Calendly did not have the option that they wanted. They had to be able to have like any specialist, but not like round robin, more like, hey, I want to see all the specialists and then select out of it. So practically you have here like every specialist, you can see the dates exactly what are available for this week. Let's select tomorrow, and then you can see the slots. And then you even can select here the person that you want to go with. Okay, let's say this one. You put your details for that booking, you confirm, and it goes towards that scenario. If we look at the loading scenario and to the processing scenario here, again, you can see here this was executed. You can see exactly how this got some of the details from Airtable for what is the availability, aggregated together, got some details, and that mapped everything inside this processing. The the other scenario that's doing the filling is just searching and filling. Once you submit, you get all the information inside. Okay, and that's how it looks on their web page. It's embedded into their web page, and yeah, it just looks like a normal page. And this is another example we've done for a bus transfer company where they wanted to do um, an agent for checking the maintenance of their buses. So in this case, they wanted to start like with a picture. So somebody goes with the phone, takes a picture of the bus. I have here a picture of a bus with the number. And then based on this, the AI will analyze the picture and extract the name. Again, this is just a scenario with an AI agent in the back, analyzing that picture, finding the bus, and it tells you, hey, I found the bus. And now you can now start talking with it. Okay, can you check if there is any main for this bus? And this will now go into the AI agent. The AI agent will hopefully search in the database and return back some of the details for this. Okay, so you have some tire replacement, some engine check, and so on. If we go to the processing scenario, we can see the AI agent that had that conversation. So that was the initial check. And it has this option to search the bus, search for the repair history, and so on. I'm not sure, maybe it has something in the memory and did the search right now. Okay, so that's kind of how this web page is loaded just from a simple webhook, because it doesn't require any kind of like data to be pre-filled into the page, uh, and it's powered then by an AI that has the action to search into a Google Sheet where the database of this scenario lives. Okay, so to summarize a bit, so the interface can be anything a human needs to do. any kind of guide, any kind of generate, any kind of self uh, design, self-serve, reporting back. So any kind of thing that you might want to do based on the information that you have on one of the platforms, you can do that with a custom interface that's powered by Make. The magic is matching the page to the real data, right? Getting the data from Make. You get that in a very simple way because it's already constructed. There's no you don't need to play with sample data. You can just get it directly from there, and it just go to what this one page, and that page is created specifically for this. Maybe as a note, in some cases we created like authentication on top of this. You can create a scenario with like a password confirmation or SMS confirmation that before loading the page, it will send you a message, send you a code, and then with that, you confirm the code and you load the page. So for question, generally capture the real data. Where does the action go? How do you brand it? So ask also AI to brand it and then embed that into Make. So the way we build this, we have a skill, and I'll show you in a bit how we can build a page live. Okay. Few things here. Think about examples everywhere: sales and marketing, operations, finance, customer facing, whichever. It's again, if you need to use some of the data, you need a special interface, you can just build it directly. I don't know what's here. Yeah, okay. So now, any questions? I see here a few questions. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so let's build. Everybody's asking me here if we can build like a customer agent. So let's build a customer agent for something. Okay, just a second to open my Claude. Where are you? Visual Studio. Interface for make.com using the webhook responder skill. Okay, so let's start with the start. If I need to go now, let's say we go inside make.com. So just to maybe first to help you understand the concept. So I'm here in a make scenario. I have a webhook. I'm creating a webhook. I'm adding a link to this webhook. Okay, so this will be a webhook for loading the page. And then the magic happens with the webhook response, where this response will say, this is the page. Okay, so now if I turn this scenario on and activate it, if somebody loads this link from the webhook, they will get the message that I put on the other side. Okay, so this is the page. So that's what's actually running the page. Okay, so this is the scenario that me close a bit few of this stuff here. Too much stuff. Come on, why did I close that? Yes. Okay, so this is what it's powering the page. Now I need to ask Claude what I want to build here and what this page should do. Okay, so if I want to embed some data to it, let's say I want to embed some data from from Airtable. It can be HubSpot, it can be whatever. Okay, let's say I have let's put an order review here. So I have HubSpot, oh no, Airtable. I think I have the orders in search records. So this in this case is returning me some products. Okay, so let's say I want to have on that page some products to review some products, and then I will connect that page towards an AI agent. So first, I'm going to aggregate the data. I'm going to take everything from this Airtable module, all just for simplifying that. And then in order for me to be able to easily use this with an AI, I will say, hey, I have a variable, and this is the products, and I will put here the array from make. Okay, and I will copy this, and I will run it once. I need this. So if I run it like this, it will return a lot of data here. Okay, everything I have in that database. So now I can just go to AI, to Claude, and say, hey, I have this products in Airtable, and I will map it to the interface. Here is the mapper. So I'll give this mapper, and here is the current result. And I put everything that I have there. And I would say I want to have an interface for reviewing products and send the feedback towards another webhook in Make to upload it back to Airtable. And I will also have a webhook for discussing about the product with an AI agent. Okay, to make this easy, I can even create those right now. So I don't need to go back and forth. I actually put it as variable. Put the webhooks and all configuration in a config section. Okay, so until this finishes, we can go inside Make. Let's create a new scenario. Again, we need a webhook. So this webhook here, let's say this will be the agent webhook for feedback. This will go to an AI agent. I will add another one. I'm not sure which one is doing what, but let's use Gemini. Why not? Actually, I'm going to use Make just to keep it simple. And I will use GPT-5.5. Okay. You are a product expert. Help me analyze if this product is structured correctly. Use AI, use web search to determine if this is correct versus other websites. Again, just a simple input there, just to have something. Right now, I don't have an input yet. I'll define it in a bit. Any conversation ID, save. Okay, now I need to add maybe a tool for web search. I think May has that now. Make AI web search. Check the web for this product on websites like emag or ebay.com. Save. And then I will have to return the answer back to the web page. So I will just return the response back. Okay. So that will be the scenario that's powering the AI agent. I will turn it on for now. So let's see what we get from Claude. So Claude asked me clean e-commerce live, Makeitfuture, brand dark studio. Let's go for a dark studio. Of free text, approve, next, per product, batch at the end. So let's wait for a second for Claude to finish this, and then we embed it inside. And why not? We have one more scenario to build. So we have here a webhook that will receive the data. So here we'll say product update to Airtable. Again, I'm using Airtable here because it's just easy, but you can use any kind of application that you want. Doesn't really matter. And then I go to Airtable, update a record, let's say. Maybe I don't have that connection here. I don't. Anyway, I'll show you, and that's it. I don't need this. Well, let's play with this in a second. Here are the links for the webhooks. Final Airtable update. Location, hook, and this will be the previous one. Of course, depending on which model you're using and how complicated you're asking for this, it will take less or more time. As you can see here, it took already 5 minutes. That's kind of the downsides of all these demos in using AI and using Claude and using these codecs or others. It just takes a bit of time to do that. If there's any questions, feel free to ask the question. I'm happy to answer until this finishes. I'll try to answer if we can do it based on QuickBooks Online Help, just as an example. If we take this one here and I duplicate this chatbot here and I put it here just for having some fun with it, add a router, I'm gonna connect it here and say, hey, help me answer question from QuickBooks. Wrong paste. From QuickBooks Online Help. Anyone knows help? So let's put this website. I'm not sure here. Use this web search to search QuickBooks. Okay. Web search. Okay, so now if I run this model here, I would say, hey, how can I add a bank account inside QuickBooks? It will go to web search for that, return the answer to the agent, and we should get an answer. And then if we add that inside an interface, we will be able to run that from the interface. Okay, so just to answer your question that yes, this is possible, let's see how we hook it up into the interface. Okay, so that's the page that it built for now. Let's see if this runs. We'll get a preview shortly, but it's still running, so I don't want to wait. So I'll copy all things from here and let's see if this runs. Not here. What did I get here? I got something different. Sorry for that. Okay, let's update this. Save, save. Okay, so now I have this reviewer that's loading. Now it's just sample data. We will need to go and connect now Airtable to that. And then we have here some discussion about it where we need to connect the agent and we can see the pages, open the images and so on, right? So this is connected to the data that's coming inside there. Now, if I go back to the scenario, we need to see somewhere inside this code here, there will be where the configuration needs to go. I can ask, I don't know if Claude already mapped it correctly or we need to map it. You see, make replace the array. So these sample products here, sometimes it does it automatically. Sometimes you need to come in and do it. So is this one here, that's the products. I'll remove that and I will replace that with the my array. And I will delete it from here so it's not duplicated. Here there's the other URLs, the feedback URL, which seems to be, no, it's not filled. So let's put this. Don't remember exactly. So this was the feedback one. Copy. I'm gonna put it here. No, that's actually, sorry for the mess. So that's the chat actually. Let's see, it goes here. And then the other one is this one. Save, save. And now if we reload it, this should be connected to it. If we come here and push a button, let's say this is approve, this is request change. I don't like the description, etc. I go to the next one. Approve again. It put the buttons down. Maybe I would put the buttons somewhere very easy to find. Just feedback the AI to do it the way you want. In this case, I just went with it. So if I request for these changes, if I submit that feedback, it says submitted. If we go here, you should be able to see that history. And we have that queue here that's showing that history. So just to show you how it looks, we go in. So this one first empty, second one. And here you have each product, the name, the decision true. And if I have a comment, I have the comment here, right? So now I would connect that to Airtable, maybe an iterator, and then update each of that product with that comment and so on, and continue the process from there. I'm not going to do this right now as we're running out of time. Let's try to connect the AI agent. So we have this AI agent. Let's see if I refresh now the page. And I come here and say, what do you think about this product? What I want to see is how this information gets first here. So I'm send. So this send me the information. You can see there was a product ID sent, a product name, a message, and a history. What I want to do now, I will use the product ID as the conversation ID. So every time we're discussing about this, it goes in the same discussion, in the same thread. I could also tell Claude to, for every conversation, to have a thread ID. So then it goes to the same thread. Depending on what you're doing, you might need that or not. In this case, I can use the product ID easily. And then I will put the message into the input. What do you think? History. I don't need the history because the history will be just kept in the make, so I don't need that. And I will click save. And with that, let's see if this works. So now if I come here and say, what I don't have there, I don't have the, I have not sent any of the information of the product, I just realized, right? So it's asking me some questions. If we go back to the history of this, you can see in the execution that this went here with the product. The AI did an output and it asked for more stuff, had a response, and then I returned the response. Okay, I have the second part of this, which was not very good, but let's remove that. So now I could do two things. I could ask the AI to send me all the information from here, right? So I have all this information here and send it over directly to the AI, or because it's not like that yet, I don't want to wait for the AI, I will put here another module. I would say Airtable, search records, and I will search for that product and give that context to the AI. Do I have product ID? Actually, even better, I can just add a module, Airtable, get a record. And I'm just putting this record ID here, so I'm getting this. I will run it first just for a test directly from here. It's getting me all the product details. I will connect it here, and I'm going to add the same details as the input. Here are the product details, and then I have product here, Airtable, get record. Okay, so now this will get the product, put it in the conversation. Check it now. The downside of what I did right now is that I added that product all the time there, so the information will go all the time as context. If we do not want to do that, it might be better to optimize it with like get a product by ID tool. We can easily go and create a tool instead of adding that all the time. I'll show you that in a second. Let's see what the result is here. Actually, let's let it run and we change it and I show you the result in a bit. So here, instead of getting the result here, I could easily add a tool here for Airtable, get record, and I would say get a product by ID, retrieve a single record by its ID, a single product by its ID, and I need to put it here, product. Okay, and then here, instead of giving it all the details, I will say product ID is product ID. And I will delete this from here and save. Right, so now I got an answer here from Claude. It used some Markdown, so I should create an interface that allows me to use Markdown or text and stuff like that. But as you can see, it responded in context, which is the important part. But you can ask them to optimize that interface. I will switch to another product and say, what is the title of this product? Okay, if we go back to the latest, let me save this. Let's go back to the latest execution. You can see it took this. It went for the AI. The AI think of it, decided to do a tool calling, got the product by ID, went to Airtable, got that product, and then responded us, right? So imagine you can do whichever orchestration you want between different platforms, and you can really create the interface that's really suited for that process, for that thing that you want to achieve with it. Again, the benefits versus like plain vibe coding with something like Lovable or Bolt is that I would use this for very simple interfaces where I do not want to have another server to manage, another platform to manage a lot more complexity. I'm using this for quick processes that needs to do something where we need to get some information, fill, and especially where we need to get the data and push the data back into some platforms, easier than just using plain orchestration with some additional form. We create a special interface, and that with that interface, the user has the flexibility to work the way they prefer in a personalized environment. Any questions? Okay, I suppose we will close the session here. If you require help at any point with this, if you need help with building an interface like this or any other kind of interfaces, AI agents, feel free to reach to us, reach to Makeitfuture. We will share the skill of how to build these interfaces. Alexandra will share that as a link when sending out the recording of this. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. See you next time.
Okay. Thank you, Tibi. Thank you, everybody. I will send today, right after this webinar, the link with this video if you want to look at it again. And thank you. We are going to organize another one in like 2 or 3 weeks. So check your email because I will send there all the information. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.